Yeah, I'm a Forex guest hunter. And Gareth Soloway. You know what? It's the first time we've talked to each other in this way. Great to meet you.
Hey, great to meet you as well. Thank you for having me.
I feel like I know you through Nick for the last, 5-6 years. I've been interviewing Nick, and I figured, it's time to give Gareth a shot to try and fill Nick's shoes.
Wonderful. I'll do my best. I truly will do my best.
All right. Are you going to share your screen, Gareth?
Yeah, let's do that now. It looks like I can't share it. I need
to do anything, Dale, because I'm still got it.
Oh yeah. You have to stop sharing.
Right. How's that? That worked.
So anyway, Gareth, I listened to your last interview you did with Blake, and you had this channel in the S&Ps that was very important to you. You're also talking about making your bearish case for Bitcoin. So you can try and share it now and see if
it still says you cannot start sharing screen while another participant is sharing.
All right, let me.
Oh wait, I just took the screen sharing and stopped sharing. So
there you go.
Perfect. Yeah. Right. So here's the channel.
It held the channel after your interview.
There's the channel again. So clear. It's really, it always amazes me how the charts can stay within these ranges for such an extended period of time. I mean, this goes back to basically May of 2020, and it shows a very clear uptrend in the S&P 500 that hasn't technically broken. But I think it's important to kind of note that you can start to see weakening, right? So if you look early on, I mean, here we hit the lower trend line, here we hit it, and then over here, right? And then if you look at the top of it, we were always up against it, even along here, along here.
Great return line.
Right. And then all of a sudden, notice how you're starting to flatten out here. And you're starting to hit the line more and more, right? So to me, that's telling me this channel is getting ready to break. Now, whether it breaks on Tuesday, tomorrow, or in a week or 2 weeks, I'm not sure. But ultimately, it is going to break here. And it makes perfect sense considering what the Federal Reserve is doing, right? If you think about the Fed printing money, pushing so much money into the system for the last year, and finally they're saying, okay, we're going to pull back on that. So if the money helped inflate the market, then it only makes sense that if they reverse that course, it's going to bring the market in just a little bit.
Okay. Any shot for maybe, do you know where your trend line comes in? I know it depends on the thickness of your pen or pencil, or when you draw the line. Would you say that closing back under 45.50 would definitely be a breakdown from that channel?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, on the spiders here, it looks like right around 460, right around there. Anything in this range here would get you below it. I'd like to see what I call confirmation, which is a close below and then a secondary lower close. And the reason why I like the confirmation signal is because it takes away that question mark of, are they piercing the line just to rip it up? Or is it really a break by the institutional money? So yeah, I would say somewhere below 460 on the SPY would definitely get my attention in terms of a break point.
Could we make another trip up to shake out the bears that think they've got it right now and make
certainly is possible?
Highs?
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing this market has taught me, I mean, going back to some of the previous all-time highs over the last, even 6 months, to me, I was, looking at the writing on the wall, and I was so sure that this would be the top, that this would be the highest point. And the market defied that, thinking for a long period of time. I think mostly because you had average investor money that just has been amazing in terms of how much money is being committed to the market from just, little investors. It's really remarkable.
I'm hearing inflows are still very strong. The January effect. Are you hearing the same thing? Big inflows?
I am. The only thing I think is slightly changing here is that it does seem like the institutional players are much more on the sell side. So that probably explains why you're getting this flatter top, which is, again, a perfect example of distribution.
Okay. And you were correlating what could happen in the market with your view in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's moved lower since that interview, hasn't it, Gareth?
Yeah, it certainly has. Let's take a look at that. So we've seen Bitcoin come in quite substantially from, the $69,000 high up here.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why it's bouncing here, and then this is a level, believe it or not, I'm actually long right now on Bitcoin. Although I'm not looking for a big move up, I'm looking for maybe about 46,000. But one of the reasons I'm interested in this area, or at least I entered, was because if you look at the chart, there's multiple trend lines that converge right at this $40,000 level. So this one, which is just remarkable, going back to October of 2020, connecting through this low, and then you could see we hit it right here. And then there's also that flat top right here at 40,000, which was the range when we dipped initially earlier in 2021, and we had that big fall to 30,000 here. You could see that basically the market rallied up to 40, pulled back up to 40 again, pulled back to 30, then again 30, and then finally kind of broke out. So anytime you come back to those levels, that's usually going to be support. The fact that you were necktying, both lines converging right there, gave you a good area of support, at least in the near term. Now, I don't think it holds for a long time, but at least in the near term, it is major support on Bitcoin.
Yeah, I used to have a flat top as a kid, flat top haircut. And, you use that wax to kind of keep it, the front standing up, kind of like Wally Cleaver kind of haircut back then. So, I like the confluence that you have there. But are you seeing the same thing probably everyone is seeing, that this could almost look like a head and shoulders top with a 40,000 neckline and a 69, which would measure almost 10K? If it happened.
I mean, that is kind of what I've been viewing, and I've talked about that. So you can see a pretty clear shoulder over here, and then the head here. And then if you use this as the neckline here, or the little base, then you have this shoulder kind of formation right over here.
Yeah.
And again, you would probably use it kind of like right around here as your neckline. Now, to be honest, head and shoulder patterns are fun to talk about, but their failure rate is pretty high. So, it's better than 50% that they play out, but it's still not amazing. Maybe 60% of the time they play out, 40% they don't. But having said that, it makes a lot of sense that Bitcoin is going to go lower. I mean, look at the performance of Bitcoin compared to the stock market. Stock market's down NASDAQ's down 10% off of its highs. Bitcoin's down 30% or more. So you're already seeing that weakness there. And then just think about if you get a deleveraging event in the stock market where, we get a bigger drawdown, more panic out there. The margin levels have been astronomical for investors. So if you just get kind of a retraction of that margin level, that's going to hit Bitcoin and the margins that are being lent out in Bitcoin as well. And it makes sense that you could see a drawdown to sub 20,000. So that's kind of, that's where I've been in the camp of thinking 20,000 or below is the ultimate downside move. A lot of people fight me on it, which is understandable because there's a lot of bulls out there, but that's what the charts are saying.
Yeah, I'm not going to fight you on it, Gareth. There's a lot of debate after what happened last week. We're all discussing, was that it for the dollar? Does it have one more hurrah? You have any view on what happened last week with the dollar? Not real major follow through in the euro. Had a great day, and then trying to give it back.
Let me
curious what you're thinking.
Let's take a look. So you're looking at the dollar and kind of the rollover that it had late last week.
People are declaring it dead. They were bearish before the break, and now they're saying that's it. We're on our way to hell. The dollar's going to hell.
The one thing I will say about the dollar is that people have been saying that for a decade or more, right?
Oh, longer.
Yeah, exactly.
The
dollar has always surprised people in that respect. Having said that, I do think that down the line, that's the case for the dollar, right? I mean, we just see the writing on the wall with the printing of money, although granted, all major countries are doing the same thing. So it's not like the dollar is any different than the yen or the euro in that respect. But I mean, the short-term trend here, you could definitely see this. I mean, it looks to me like this trend line at least held pretty well. You briefly pierced it to the downside.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I think in the near term, if the markets do continue to get more dangerous, we see more stock market volatility, then it makes sense that the dollar would actually hold up a little bit better. But as my fear is that, or my thinking is that, down the line, as the Fed tries to raise interest rates, withdraws QE, lowers their balance sheet, the markets at some point will get so nasty and create such a spike in unemployment that the Fed will have to come out again with stimulus, with more money printing, lower interest rates, all those things. And then that's where, again, the continued demise, the longer term demise on the dollar occurs, right? So, in theory, if they're really going to be hard nosed and raise interest rates and make, monetary policy much more hawkish, that would actually be positive for the dollar longer term. But I just don't believe that the Fed can ever get out of this mess cleanly,
Okay. So any belief in the miners?
Yeah,
Nate?
I
Go ahead.
love, so I'm such a gold bull. It's the miners themselves, the GDX. I just love these patterns on the GDX. So if we just take a look at the GDX chart, right, and you look at this big move up we had from early 2020 to kind of the end of 2020, then this is all bullish consolidation. And it's been such a great digestion move for such a long time. And this meshes with the gold chart. The gold chart is very similar to this. So I think this is getting ready for a bigger move up, which again would imply weakness in the dollar, at least from some respect, right? So yeah, I mean, I think the gold miners is a great way to be positioned. And I also think the GLD is a nice place as well.
Okay, from these levels, or do you think we could have one more shot down in there?
I mean, for me, let's go to the GLD, right? So the GLD gold chart will kind of be the dictator most likely of how the gold miners perform. For me, there's this trend line and I'm watching it very closely. If we can break above this, then I think it's off to the races. As long as you hover below that line, you have to respect this wedge pattern. Wedge patterns now, overall, this pattern to me, since it's inside of a bigger move up, is bullish longer term, but you still could break it and go down in the near term. That is a possibility, maybe retesting this low right here before a bigger move comes in. So I would say the key on this is look to see which line you break. Which do you break to the upside? And then I think it's straight up you go, or do you break to the downside? In which case I think there's, a little bit of weakness, but I don't overall see a ton of weakness.
Do you like silver as much as gold, or gold more?
I like gold more. My concern on silver is just that, there's the industrial side, which is, if you look longer term, right, silver is going to perform really, really well. Percentage wise, it usually outperforms gold. But I just think in the near term, and let me bring up the silver chart here, that there's a little bit more uneasiness in my analysis due to the industrial side. And, does the Fed wreck the economy? Does the Fed stall the economy because of them trying to raise rates and cut back on the tapering or speed up the tapering, I should say, to get to zero. So that's the only kind of question mark I have. Now, I do have a buy level on silver that is just golden to me using the golden
19.
Yeah. So you can see if we do get back to this area right here, you have so much support down here that I would absolutely be a huge accumulator of silver if we did get one more dip.
Yeah, Julian Brigden said that too. I'm looking for it too, and Celius is looking for it too. You know what?
Yeah,
it better not get there.
Yeah,
and let us, let us get our dream entry.
And that's always.
So I'm going to start a buck above it.
Yep, and that's when everyone's looking for something, it sometimes doesn't happen. So that's always a possibility.
Yeah, and if it does happen, it becomes a meaningless level. It cuts through it like a hot knife through butter. I've seen it a million times. Anyway, really the star of the show in the commodity complex that won't give up the ghost is energy. Your view, perhaps we're getting set to make new highs. And I saw an interesting tweet from Shy Girl, and she's saying, that underground volcano that went off in Indonesia by Bali. She thinks it's going to create a cooling trend. I guess it was massive. And so, in the atmosphere anyway, she construes that as bullish energy because it's going to cool off global warming for a few years.
Oh,
maybe we're headed towards a new ice age, Gareth. I've read books about that too.
Hey,
I
moved to Florida recently, so
you're good.
I should be okay.
Yeah, the high of the day in Miami will be like 31. degrees in July.
Oh man.
Huh?
How much more south can I go then?
The equator. I
Yeah.
guess that's it. So, I really love the work that Nick does, and enjoyed. See, this looks like one more high. We're almost there, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just brought up the WTI chart, and it looks like you're getting close to a double top here. So that'll be interesting to just kind of monitor for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it looks like we could get a drive 3. So you have a great team. I only know, you and Nick from the team, but if you'd like right now, Gareth, you could go to your website and show people how they could, um, follow you, get involved with you.
Oh,
John wants
wonderful.
me to tell you the last ice age. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
See, I'm so old. How could I remember?
Yeah. I don't think you're that old, but
Yeah, I'm close.
yeah, I appreciate the time to just show the website. And
Yeah.
in the moneystocks.com, we've been around since 2007 doing this analysis. We keep it as simple as possible, price, pattern, and time. Basically not with a lot of crazy indicators like MACDs and all this other stuff that they have out there. And it works, the simplicity of it, just looking for a multi-factor setup. So here it is. You have my name here and Nick's name right here. And we each have our 2 services underneath. One is the stock service, so swing trades and daily videos. The other is options. I always say, if generally this is the primary service, this is the one with the most value. We do weekly live broadcasts and daily videos. Options is more meant as an add-on because it's higher risk and there's really no videos with it. So the quality, the values in verified investing alerts, and with Nick, it's bullseye trading alerts. And if you're a day trader, we have a live day trading room every day where we day trade stocks. So it's there. And, again, it's always a pleasure to help people and kind of get people to kind of start to understand how amazing the charts can be in terms of teaching and helping us position ourselves. And it's all probabilities. Always remember that, folks.
Yeah.
There's no 100%. It's all probabilities.
The Holy Grail.
Yep.
Holy Grail doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't. We all take losses. It's a matter of, can you put the odds in your favor so you take a lot more wins than losses?
Yeah, the secret is hard work and living through adversity, in my opinion.
That's right. Absolutely.
So you have, Gareth, you're a veteran. You've had your teeth kicked in. And
so many times.
Yeah. So, you speak with coming from experience, and appreciate you and Nick. And thank you for coming on. I hope that 2022 is the best year ever for you and your company.
Hey, and I hope the same to you guys. Thank you guys so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
All right, Gareth. Good hunting, buddy.
You too. Take care.
All right. Take it easy. Gareth Soloway at ITMS. You can follow him there, and Nick. And that's a wrap for us. I believe there's going to be a Morning Edge broadcast this morning. So we're about 25 minutes away from that. See everyone for Turnaround Tuesday. Remember, everyone, we still have that pricing going on. So I think this might be the last week. So crack your piggy bank. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. And I'll see everyone tomorrow. This is Forex Guest Hunter signing off. I have to go hunting. Adios.
Hey traders, this is Blake Morrow with ForexAnalytix. Thanks for stopping by our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like these videos, share them, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the content that we provide here for free. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you in the next video.